Have you ever stood before the mirror, perhaps on a quiet morning, and wondered if your best years are behind you? It's easy to feel invisible in a world that worships youth, but as a family doctor who has walked beside thousands of patients on their golden journeys, I see something different. Your beauty isn't fading, it's ripening into something far more magnetic. Today, I'm sharing 12 signs that you're more stunning now than ever. Stick around. The final secret might change everything. Let's begin now. Sign 1. Confidence. The first sign that your beauty is blooming is a newfound sense of confidence. However, the problem I see most often in my clinic is a habit of slouching. Many of us start to hunch our shoulders or look down at the sidewalk when we walk. We do this because we feel a bit more fragile, or perhaps we feel invisible as we get older. You might find yourself avoiding eye contact at the grocery store or keeping your head down during a conversation. As a doctor, I can tell you that this is more than just a bad habit. When you slouch, your body actually produces more cortisol. That is the primary stress hormone. High levels of cortisol can make you feel anxious, tired, and even more prone to inflammation in your joints. Our bodies change as we age. Our bones lose a bit of density, and our muscles may not be as snappy as they once were. This naturally makes us want to look down at our feet to stay safe while walking. But by doing this, you are sending a signal to your brain that you are defeated. You might notice symptoms like a persistent ache in your neck, a feeling of heavy fatigue, or even a foggy brain. These are often tied to how you carry yourself. Research from top universities shows that simply standing tall can lower your stress levels and boost your mood almost instantly. It is a biological reset. I want you to remember the story of Robert. Robert was a veteran who walked into my office with a heavy slouch. He felt his best days were left on the battlefield. I told him to stand as if he were wearing his highest commendation medal on his chest. The change was incredible. His face brightened, his voice became firm, and he suddenly looked 10 years younger. So, here is your corrective action. Stop looking at your shoes. I want you to practice exercise number 1, which I call the string. Imagine there is a golden string attached to the very top of your head, gently pulling you toward the sky. Feel your spine lengthen and your chest open up. This simple move changes your magnetic aura. While vitamins are great for your bones, nothing supports your frame like the intention to stand tall. Start today. Walk with your chin up and your heart open. Sign 2, the smile. The second sign of your growing beauty is your smile. Now, many of you tell me you are worried about the lines around your mouth. You might spend a lot of money on expensive creams to hide what you call wrinkles. But in my house, we call those laugh lines. They are the map of your entire life. From a medical perspective, when you smile, your brain releases a flood of endorphins and dopamine. These are your natural feel-good chemicals. They act like a dose of medicine for your soul. As we age, our skin loses some of collagen, which makes it thinner and more prone to marking. This is why our expressions stay on our faces longer than they did when we were 20. But this is actually a gift. A face with laugh lines tells the world that you are a person of warmth and joy. People who smile often are perceived as more trustworthy and more attractive than those with perfectly smooth, expressionless faces. If you feel like you look grumpy or tired, even when you are not, it might be because you have forgotten to let your inner light reach your lips. The Mayo Clinic has noted that laughter and smiling can actually improve your immune system. It increases the number of antibodies in your blood to help you fight off the common cold. Think about my dear friend, Mrs. Miller. She has deep lines around her eyes and mouth, but when she smiles, the whole room feels warmer. She does not need a facelift because her joy is her fountain of youth. My advice to you is simple. Stop worrying about the depth of your wrinkles and start focusing on the breadth of your smile. I want you to try this right now. Go to the nearest mirror and smile at yourself for at least 5 seconds. Do not look for flaws. Look for the sparkle in your eyes. This simple act tells your nervous system that you are safe and happy. It is a free treatment that works better than any bottle of serum. Sign 3. Style over fashion. The third sign is your evolving sense of style. I see many people making the mistake of trying to chase every new trend they see on television, or they go the other way and just wear baggy, worn-out clothes because they think it does not matter anymore. Both of these habits can dampen your spirit. True style is about understanding your body as it is today. It is about choosing what feels good on your skin and what reflects your soul. As we get older, our skin can become more sensitive to rough fabrics, and our circulation may need clothes that are not too restrictive. This is why choosing quality over quantity is so important. When you wear something that fits well and feels soft, your body relaxes. There is a psychological effect called enclothed cognition. This means the clothes you wear actually change the way you think and act. If you wear something that makes you feel elegant, you will behave with more grace. Scientific studies show that when we dress in a way that makes us feel proud, our brain function improves. We become more sharp and more attentive. You do not need to spend a fortune or have a closet full of clothes. You just need a few signature pieces. I think of Martha, a patient who always wears a vibrant silk scarf. That one piece of fabric is her trademark. It brings color to her face and shows the world she still cares about her presentation. It makes her magnetic. Your constructive action for today is to choose a signature accessory. Maybe it is a favorite scarf, a classic watch, or a comfortable pair of leather shoes. Wear it as a badge of your individuality. Remember, while a good diet keeps your body healthy, expressing your personal style keeps your spirit vibrant. Choose things that make you feel like the best version of yourself. You are not dressing for others. You are dressing to celebrate the incredible woman you have become. Sign 4. Warmth. The fourth sign that you are becoming more beautiful with age is a deep, soul-felt warmth. However, a common problem I see with my older patients is the feeling of being invisible. You might walk through a crowded mall or sit in a park and feel like the world is just passing you by. You might feel like you are a shadow, tucked away while the younger generation rushes around with their phones and their busy lives. This sense of being unseen can lead to a heavy heart and a feeling of deep isolation. As a doctor, I want you to understand the biology of this feeling. When you feel isolated, your body goes into a state of high alert. But when you practice kindness and warmth, your brain releases a wonderful hormone called oxytocin. We often call this the cuddle hormone or the bonding molecule. For someone in their 60s or 70s, oxytocin is a miracle worker. It helps lower your blood pressure naturally. It reduces the inflammation in your cardiovascular system. More importantly, it actually relaxes the tiny muscles in your face. When you are warm and kind, your forehead smooths out and your jaw relaxes. You begin to glow from the inside out. Why does this become so essential as we age? It is because our social circles naturally tend to get smaller. We might not have the daily hustle of an office anymore. Our bodies do not produce as much oxytocin on their own as they once did. We have to be intentional about creating it. If you are lacking this warmth, you might feel a persistent chill, or you might find that your muscles feel stiffer than usual. You might even feel a sense of bitterness creeping in. These are symptoms of social hunger. Scientific proof from the University of Michigan shows that older adults who volunteer or provide support to others have a significantly lower risk of mortality. Being warm is quite literally a lifesaver. If you believe that kindness is the ultimate form of beauty, please leave a comment right now with the word warmth. You do not need an expensive therapist to fix this. You can find this medicine right in your neighborhood. Real health comes from the food we share and the words we speak. I remember a patient named Mrs. Miller. She felt very lonely after her husband passed away. She started a small habit of being the first to say hello to the mail carrier every single morning. She would offer a cold glass of water on a hot July day. That simple act of warmth changed her entire face. She went from looking tired and gray to looking vibrant and full of life. People started stopping by her house just to catch a bit of her energy. So, here is your practical solution for today. Make it your mission to be the first one to greet someone. Whether it is the teenager bagging your groceries or your neighbor walking their dog, share a genuine word of kindness. It will lower your blood pressure and make you the most attractive person in the room. Sign 5. Embrace your story. The fifth sign of your growing beauty is the way you embrace your history, particularly through your skin. A major problem many women face is the obsession with miracle anti-wrinkle creams. You see these advertisements everywhere, promising to erase decades in just a few days. People spend hundreds of dollars on lotions that promise to make them look 20 again. This creates a cycle of anxiety. Every time you look in the mirror, you are looking for a flaw to fix instead of a life to celebrate. From my expert perspective, your skin is a living record of your journey. As we age, our dermis becomes thinner. We lose the fatty layer under our skin, and our oil glands become less active. This is a natural biological shift. While the beauty industry calls this a disaster, I call it authenticity. Those lines are the map of your laughter, your worries, and your triumphs. Trying to freeze your face with harsh chemicals or surgeries often backfires. It can leave the face looking frozen and unnatural, which actually robs you of your magnetic charm. The core reason why this matters so much now is that your skin no longer heals as fast as it used to. When you use aggressive chemical peels or harsh treatments, you risk permanent damage. Your body is telling you to slow down and be gentle. If you are caught in this vanity trap, you might feel a constant sense of dissatisfaction. You might feel dry and itchy, both physically and emotionally. Research shows that people who accept their aging process actually live 7 years longer than those who fight it with negativity. Acceptance is the best anti-aging treatment available. Instead of searching for a way to hide, look for a way to protect. You can get wonderful skin nutrients from eating colorful berries and leafy greens, which provide the antioxidants your skin craves. Think about my patient Martha. She used to wear heavy foundation to hide every single spot on her face. She looked like she was wearing a mask. One day, she decided to stop. She started using a simple, high-quality moisturizer and a good sunblock with SPF 30. She let her natural skin breathe. The change was stunning. Suddenly, her real beauty was visible. She looked honest, and honesty is incredibly attractive. My advice is to stop buying into the fear. Throw away those creams that make you feel like you are failing at being young. Instead, start using a gentle moisturizer and a daily sunblock to protect your health. Treat your skin with the love it deserves, not the shame the world tries to give you. Sign 6. Magnetic aura. The sixth sign of your incredible beauty is your magnetic aura. This is that invisible energy that makes people want to be near you. However, a common problem I see is people trying way too hard to be noticed. They might talk too loud, or they might act restless and anxious because they fear they are losing their place in the world. This frantic energy actually pushes people away. It creates a barrier between you and the peace you deserve. Scientifically speaking, your aura is a reflection of your nervous system. When you are at peace, your heart rate variability is high, and your brain often operates in what we call alpha waves. This is a state of calm alertness. When you are in this state, You have a physical presence that is deeply soothing to others. For an older person, this inner peace is your greatest power. Your body has been through so much, and your nervous system has finally learned how to settle down if you let it. The core reason this is essential is that your body can no longer handle the constant drip of adrenaline that younger people live on. If you are always rushing and worrying, you will feel exhausted and you might experience heart palpitations or a restless mind. These are symptoms of a spirit that has forgotten how to be still. Studies in the field of neurobiology suggest that a calm presence can actually regulate the heart rates of the people around you. You become a literal source of healing for your children and grandchildren. If you want to harness this power, you do not need anything fancy. While a healthy diet supports your brain, a quiet mind supports your aura. I think of a woman named Evelyn. She was not a loud person, but when she walked into a room, everyone felt better. She told me her secret was spending 10 minutes every morning in total silence before she even turned on the coffee pot. She just sat and breathed. That quietness stayed with her all day long. It made her magnetic. So here is your solution. Start your day with 10 minutes of stillness. No television, no radio, and no phone. Just sit with your thoughts and your breath. This simple practice will settle your nerves and build a magnetic aura that will draw people to you effortlessly. You will find that you no longer have to seek attention because your inner peace will speak for you. Sign 7. The Silver Crown. I see so many folks at the clinic spending a fortune on harsh dyes, terrified of that first gray hair. But as your doctor, I know that your scalp becomes thinner and more sensitive over time. Those harsh chemicals can actually become toxic for your skin, causing inflammation or even more thinning. Your hair follicles are simply slowing down, and that silver is a badge of a life well lived. Think of Clara. She spent 20 years dyeing her hair a dark, muddy brown that washed out her skin. When she finally let her natural silver shine through and got a chic trim, the silver reflected the light perfectly onto her face. She looked radiant, as if she had finally stepped into the sun. Stop fighting nature. Eat your biotin-rich eggs and nuts to keep those strands strong. But wear your silver with pride. It is the crown of your wisdom. Sign 8. Accepting compliments. I call it the grace of acceptance. How often do you brush off a compliment by pointing out a flaw? If someone says you look lovely, you might say, "Oh, this old dress is ancient," or "I look so tired today." This habit of self-deprecation is a poison for your neural pathways. When you reject praise, you tell your brain you are not worthy, which can lead to feeling invisible. Science shows that accepting kindness keeps your mind sharp and your heart open. It improves your cognitive health to believe good things about yourself. I remember Martha at a neighborhood brunch. Someone told her she had a beautiful smile. Instead of making a joke about her age, she simply looked them in the eye and said, "Thank you. That is so kind of you to notice." She owned her worth in that moment. Stop the negative self-talk today. When someone offers a compliment, just say thank you and smile. It strengthens your spirit. Sign 9. Humor. Life gets heavy as we age, and it is easy to become stiff or cranky. But laughter is a medical miracle. It dilates your blood vessels and improves your circulation, which is vital for your heart health. If you have not had a good belly laugh lately, you might feel more tension in your neck or a sense of loneliness. Laughter increases your antibodies and makes you magnetic. If you have laughed today, please comment with the word laugh. Think about George. He once spent half an hour looking for his glasses while they were sitting right on his forehead. Instead of getting angry, he laughed until he cried. That lightness is why everyone loves being around him. Stop taking the small mistakes so seriously. Watch a funny movie or share a joke with a friend. A good laugh keeps your soul young and your face beautiful. Sign 10. The Living Eyes. The 10th sign of your growing beauty is your eyes. I often see my patients focusing only on the negative changes. They worry about the puffiness, the dark circles, or the drooping lids. They spend a small fortune on expensive eye creams that promise to lift and tuck. But as a doctor, I see something much deeper. From a medical perspective, the skin around your eyes is the thinnest on your entire body. As we age, the fat pads behind the eyes can shift, and the skin loses its elasticity. This is a natural biological process. While you see bags or shadows, I see a soul that has truly lived. Your eyes carry the traces of every person you have loved and every challenge you have overcome. They reflect a level of compassion and understanding that youth simply cannot possess. When you look at someone with kindness, your eyes tell a story that no words can match. If you are only looking at your circles, you might feel tired or self-critical. These are symptoms of a spirit that is judging its shell instead of its light. Scientific studies show that people are more drawn to the sparkle of genuine emotion in an older person's eyes than to the perfection of a younger face. I remember a patient named Mrs. Higgins. She was so self-conscious about her heavy eyelids until her grandson told her that her eyes always made him feel safe. That is true beauty. My advice is to stop judging your reflection. When you speak to others, look them directly in the eye with warmth and genuine interest. That connection is your most stunning feature. Sign 11, authenticity. Sign number 11 is your authenticity. A common mistake I see is the habit of being a people pleaser. Many of us spend our lives trying to meet the expectations of our parents, our spouses, or our children. We say yes when we want to say no. We hide our true feelings to keep the peace. This constant act creates a massive amount of internal stress. As a physician, I can tell you that this stress is a silent killer. It keeps your cortisol levels high and puts a strain on your cardiovascular system. When you finally reach a point where you are comfortable in your own skin, your body begins to heal. Authenticity is efficient. Your heart does not have to work as hard when you're being honest about who you are. The core reason this is vital now is that an aging body processes stress much more slowly. If you are still trying to please everyone, you will feel chronic fatigue and a lack of joy. Research from the field of psychology suggests that authenticity is linked to better heart health and a stronger immune system. I think of my patient Sarah. She spent years going to every social event she was invited to, even when she was exhausted. One day, she decided to start saying no to the things that did not feed her soul. She started painting instead. The change in her health was remarkable. Her blood pressure stabilized and she looked 10 years younger because the weight of pretense was gone. My solution for you is to start being unapologetically yourself. Say no to things you do not enjoy without feeling a drop of guilt. This honesty creates a magnetic beauty that is incredibly rare. Sign 12, inspiring others. The final sign that you are becoming more beautiful is your ability to inspire others. A major problem for many people over 60 is the feeling of being useless. They feel like their contributions are finished and they are just taking up space. This leads to a sense of deep loneliness and a lack of purpose. But the medical truth is that you are a living library. You have a lifetime of wisdom that the world desperately needs. Science shows that mentoring and helping others can actually improve your own brain health. It keeps your cognitive functions sharp and gives you a reason to wake up with energy. This is why purpose is the best medicine for a long life. If you feel lost, you might experience symptoms like a foggy brain or a lack of motivation. These are signs of a spirit that needs to give. I want to share the story of Linda. She felt very lonely until she started sitting on her porch and simply listening to the neighborhood boy who was struggling in school. She did not have to do much. She just listened, and offered a few words of encouragement. That boy started doing better, and Linda found her glow again. She became an inspiration to the whole street. My practical solution is to share one life lesson with someone who needs it every single week. You are not a burden. You are a treasure. When you bring light into the life of another person, you become unforgettable. That impact is the most powerful form of beauty there is. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. Keep shining your light. The world needs it now more than ever. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I hope you now see that your beauty is not fading. It is deepening into something truly magnificent. Remember, you are a living treasure with a story worth celebrating. In the comments below, please share one small promise you will make for yourself. If this message touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Keep shining. I will see you very soon.